Hey, Walt. Hey, buddy. What's up? Good to see everybody. By the way, I just want to let everyone know that every Tuesday is Turning Turtle Day. Did you know that?
Turning Turtle Day?
And you have to do it in a Russian, Scottish, Spanish accent.
All right, I'm going to miss that.
You're definitely going to miss that. What's going on, everybody? Disney Dan here. Welcome back to Disney Movie Review. We are back, and we are this week reviewing Mary Poppins Returns 2018. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm here with my buddy, as always, Walt from Mouse Talk, in a wonderful new location.
It needs work. We have a loft, so I'm like sitting in the loft. It's totally empty and doesn't have the best lighting. So we'll be better in the coming weeks.
But it's a big congratulations to you, and look at that lighting. That lighting is amazing. So
I got it shut right now because it made it worse when it was open. But there's a lot of light in this house. So
cool. I love it. I love it. Debbie Burnfield, welcome into the stream. Francisco, what is up, Francisco? Good to see you. Christine Hickman, what is up, my wonderful friend? Thank you so much for being here. Paul Engel, good to see you. Brian Eisenhower. Look at that. He says, wow, Walt, empty studio. I know, right? Empty studio. We also have Gene, welcome in, and Noah Adventures. What is up, Noah? Good to see you. How you doing? There's Gene. So good to see everyone. Disney movie review. We had a few weeks. I feel like we need to be, we've missed a few weeks over the last couple of reviews, but we are back. We are talking this week about Mary Poppins Returns. It's going to be exciting. Catherine will be welcome into the stream. Thank you so much for being here. And this is going to be a real fun one. This is going to be a real fun review of Disney's Mary Poppins Returns. Can't believe it came out in 2018. I thought it came out came out in 2019 for some reason.
I thought it was older than that. I didn't know it was only 3 years old.
See, but I have no excuse because the first time I saw this film was, I think I mentioned this when we picked the film. The first time I saw Mary Poppins Returns was the very first date I had with Hannah.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah. So I said, right, I'm gonna throw you straight in the deep end. You're gonna go out with somebody who loves Disney. We're gonna go and watch a Disney film. We're gonna go to TGI Fridays afterwards, and we sat and watched Mary Poppins Returns. We went to TGI Fridays, and I said to her, "Oh, I really enjoyed that movie." She goes, "Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it," and she's even still with me to this day. So I mean that says you something. So this is going to be a real interesting film in my perspective because this film actually does mean a lot to me and my history and my relationship with my other half. So Amy, welcome into the stream. AJC Magic TV, welcome in, my friend. Lasercat is here too. Brian says, I saw this one with Jennifer, very parallel to the original Mary Poppins, and we'll definitely pick up on that point for sure throughout the show. Walt, was this your first time watching Mary Poppins Returns? I believe you said last time you slept like the first 10 minutes or something.
It was my first time seeing it, so never saw it in the movie theaters. First time seeing it for sure. Yes.
Yeah, it's a proper first time viewing.
Yes.
of this film, and I think it had. Look, you look at the cast, and the cast is fantastic. You got Emily Blunt, you have Lin Manuel Miranda, you have Colin Firth, you have Angela Lansbury, Meryl Streep, all these fantastic A-list celebrities. It's exciting. It's a very exciting cast, and I think in terms of casting, I think they did a good job. And I want to start off by saying, if there was any person to take over Julie Andrews as Mary Poppins, I think Emily Blunt did a fantastic job as Mary Poppins. Now, she's never going to be as good as Julie Andrews, but I think for a modern day equivalent, I think Emily Blunt did a really good job, in my opinion. I think you're going to disagree.
I'm not going to disagree. She did fine. I don't like her take on Mary Poppins. She how do I say this? I don't like how she perceived her. She was a little too matter of fact, almost smart alecky kind of in a lot of ways with things. I didn't take Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews to be that way. I don't know. I thought that she was very good. Emily Blunt, very great actor, can sing, can dance, very entertaining. But her take on Mary Poppins was, to me, it felt different. It didn't feel, when it says Mary Poppins Return, it didn't feel like Mary Poppins to me.
It almost felt like Mary Poppins' sister rather than.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it didn't feel like, and it has nothing. Look, there's been plenty of people that have played Batman over the years, James Bond over the years, Superman over the years. Those guys have done, like when we get new James Bonds, they bring their own taste to it, their own niche to it, but it still feels like James Bond. Yeah. She didn't feel like Mary Poppins to me. I don't know. I think it's just me.
I think what you're saying is that I think in terms of Emily Blunt's acting was fantastic. It was just how the character was written, which was maybe the issue.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, for sure.
Chris from Dad Builds, what's up, Chris? Good to see you. Thank you for being here, brother. Good to see you. Chris had a fantastic show last night. If you guys missed it, go check it out for sure. I think it's definitely a different take on the character. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I think it's definitely debatable. I actually think that she did, in terms of her acting, I think she did a fantastic job. I think she did bring a modern day version of Mary Poppins. Was she like the original? No, I think things have changed, but I do think she was close to the character than maybe I would have expected. I think we also had Lin Manuel Miranda as Jack, which basically is your Bert character, who I think did a good job. He's like Bert, but he wasn't Bert. Like, he just did the same thing. He wasn't a chimney sweep. He was a lamplighter. I mean, it's. I think what you can agree with, Walter, anybody who's seen this film is step for step, beat for beat, the same as the original. It pretty much is. Like, all the songs are similar. Like, they're very similar. They pretty much follow a similar sort of pattern. You've got the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious song. You got the spoonful of sugar song. You got the step in time song. But they're all sort of for this film, pretty much. So it's a very, very close parallel to the original.
Which, to me, Dan, is not a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I've said this 1,000 times. Sequels need to be different. It can't be step for step what we've already seen. Bring a different light to it that makes it different. What makes Empire Strikes Back such a great film compared to A New Hope? The bad guys winning.
Anything, yeah. I mean,
there's so many plot points that are different in that film that makes it phenomenal. It's so different. This one here, I think, to me, was very much. I agree. I almost want to say to myself, and I think this is kind of giving away where I'm going with my rating. Ultimately, is what was the point of this movie? Okay, I guess we've really got to get into the plot, because somebody talked earlier about the plot falling flat. I kind of agree 100%. But that's just me.
So I'm going to go on the other side of this, and you ask, what is the point of this movie? And I'm going to say it's not the fact that it's the story that's the main point here. It's more of the fact I think that this film is meant to pay homage to the original. I think it's meant to, the whole film was to pay homage to that original film, be a modern day take of it, and to really just, pretty much honor the original film in this way. And that's just the way I took it. Because it is a step for step, and that's exactly how and I think I think everybody in the chat knows that. Obviously, Walt and I do agree on a lot of the films that we've discussed, and sometimes we've actually gone our separate ways in terms of films. So it makes it great. Super Fluffy Yeti, good to see you. He says, I like that. I like that. What is the point of making this movie? And we'll get into that. I think that's going to be the main question of this show today.
Look, the whole point of a sequel to me is to either continue the same story or bring some. Usually a sequel is part of a trilogy or part of an overarching story being told. And this kind of is, I get it. It's the little kids now grown up. I guess we're going to get into it a little bit
Yeah.
more when we talk about plot, because I do have some questions about it. I get
Yeah.
what the plot was, but I'm wondering if how Mary Poppins really helped with the plot. I hate to say it, but
Now, if we look, and you say that, you go back to the original Mary Poppins film. Who was Mary Poppins really helping? Was she helping the Banks children, or was she really helping Mr. Banks?
oh, Mr.
And
Banks.
that was the point of I think everyone believed going through the films that she was helping the Banks children, being the nanny, but actually she was really helping Mr. Banks. Whereas in this film, it could be very much debated.
Right.
So let's start. Let's talk about the opening of this film. It is a beautiful sort of start of the film, a view over London, bringing us back into the world of Mary Poppins. Lin Manuel Miranda singing "Underneath the Lovely London Sky." Now, I'll say this right now. When I watched this film, I think the music, some of the songs were really good, and some of the songs were, nah. And I only remember the songs because I actually do listen to them quite regularly on Spotify. But if you asked somebody who's only seen this film once, you're not going to remember the names of the songs or how they go.
But here's my thing. Again, it's part of what helps to bring. You can tell a classic because you remember the song.
Yep.
Okay? Even watching it once or twice, you remember the songs.
Yeah.
What made Mary Poppins so memorable? Like you said, you rattled off all the songs in the film. Let's Go Fly a Kite. Chimney, Tuppence.
Spoonful of Sugar. Yeah, it happens. Happily Everybody Welcome In.
Feed the Birds. Well, Feed the Birds. Which is Walt's favorite song, for crying out loud, is Feed the Birds. The music isn't memorable in this film to me. It's fine. It's good. I understand that. But is it music that we're going to remember 20 years down the road?
No. I enjoyed the music. I have it in my Spotify playlist. But again, you're not going to remember those songs like you are A Spoonful of Sugar or Let's Go Fly a Kite or any of those songs. Faith, Hope, and Disney. Barbara, welcome into the stream. So good to see you. We start off getting an idea of a little bit of the background of what's been going on over the last couple of years. Jane and Michael Banks have grown up. Jane is sort of taking over her sort of mother role, protesting and doing stuff for the community. And Michael Banks has 3 children, and his deceased wife has affected him, has affected his family. And the whole sort of premise is that they're going to be losing the house. Things aren't going his way. And I do want to bring up one song, and it's called The Conversation, where he's in the attic and he's talking about his wife. And I think that was definitely the best song of the film. Talking to himself while talking to her in wherever she might be, and talking about, their children and how he's sort of left alone to do both sides of the parenting. Captain Akron, welcome into the stream. Simba, what's up? Simba too. Matt, isn't it ironic that Walt's favorite song is Feed the Birds, but you can't at the parks? Yeah, that's funny.
Well, let me say this.
Yeah,
it's funny you brought that up because out of all the songs in the film, the one in the attic that he sings is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's Since You Went Away or whatever it's called.
It's called The Conversation. Really fantastic song. Really, really great song. Sung really well. And it gives you a lot of depth to how what Michael is going through at the moment, what the kids are doing, and inevitably what's going to be happening to the house. And the lawyers have come over and they said the house needs to go. The house has been taken by the bank. And there's sort of the whole plot, the whole premise is to find a way to keep the house, the bank house.
And let me say this, rightfully so, he even admits that he fell behind on payments. So what they're asking for is legitimate to start. And we'll get into that a little bit more as time goes on. They are asking technically for a legitimate payment by the end of the week to keep the house because he fell behind. So we'll start there. As we get a little bit more into it, we'll learn a little bit more. I think Super Fluffy Yeti makes a good point as well.
Yes, I was going to bring that up just now. The sequel had an impossible hurdle to overcome. the Sherman Brothers songs hit a home run with almost every one of their songs. Absolutely right.
With the first one.
With the original, they had every single one of the songs of Mary Poppins was just, it was outstanding. Every single one of them.
And it's all the more reason why, Dan, in my humble opinion, this sequel needed to be different than the original. It couldn't be a step for step because exactly what Super Fluffy just said, everybody else did. They compared it to the original. And you can't, because when you do that, you are going to lose.
Yep.
That would be like if they redid another Wizard of Oz and tried to come out with a sequel, which they actually did, Return to Oz.
By the way,
ever remember that?
Which is in the box, by the way.
Right. But they tried to do it again, and it didn't work. Sometimes it's, I hate to say this, it's best to leave well enough alone.
Don't remake or do what's already not broken. It's
even sequels sometimes don't necessarily work. I mean, you get the Terminator 2 Judgment Days here and there, and then you get
Jaws 2, Jurassic Park 2, Jurassic Park 2, Lost World.
So I'm just saying.
No, of course. And
you're right. It's about the house. They're trying to save the house this time.
Jonathan Chong, welcome into the stream. Great to have you. And it's all about saving the house, and they're trying to find a way to find the certificate for their loans to the banks. They're also and the kids are trying to find a way to raise the money themselves with this bowl that their mother had, which apparently is worth a lot of money, which they end up it doesn't. But it does follow very, very similar beats to the original. Everything is starting to go wrong, and then Mary Poppins out of the sky comes down and starts to, help the Banks family as she always does. Now, the first thing that she does is they take the three kids down the bathtub into this world. And I do want to say that the animation that they used for this film, I think, was really, really well done. I think the animation with the live action kids and the live action green screen that they used was really, really good. It did remind me a lot of the original, how they incorporated live action humans and acting with that animation aspect as well. Mm-hmm. I think they did that. I think they did a fantastic job. Todd B, welcome into the stream. And also, one thing that it was nominated for at the Oscars was the costume designing. I think the costumes in this film were fantastic. They really, really were.
Yes, very good costume. Whoever the costume designer was did a phenomenal job. Very authentic. I
don't think she won the Oscar, but
that's okay.
To get nominated, it was a really, really good achievement, and I think the costumes in general were very good in this film. So they go into this song called "Can You Imagine That," and it's all about sort of forgetting about logic and just can children pretty much use their imagination, which I quite like the message of that song. I really like it. But Brian brings up says, "I'm sorry, but Mary Poppins didn't need a sequel. It was shoehorned in there because of the success of Saving Mr. Banks." Now that's also interesting, because now you have this almost Mary Poppins trilogy with Saving Mr. Banks, Mary Poppins, and Mary Poppins Returns. So it is quite interesting. Carlos Disney World Freak, what is up, brother? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And they go to this big tent, this hall. I can't remember the exact name of the hall. And Lin Manuel Miranda and Mary Poppins do a fantastic number as well. They do another great song. It's always song after song after song. There's a car chase with Georgie, the youngest one, being kidnapped. That was quite interesting. I thought that was quite bold for a Mary Poppins thing to do. I thought it was quite interesting.
Right, but the songs that you're talking about, and again, I want you to correct me. How do they enhance the plot? What is their necessity to the film? They're unnecessary. That's my thing, is all the other songs from the original had a point to them. The whole point of her and Lin Miranda up on the stage and all that, it's all fine and good to see. But I'm thinking to myself, how does this play into the plot? I'm not understanding. Why do we need this? Why? I mean, Pomp and Circumstance is great, but Pomp and Circumstance still has a part to play in the overall plot of the film.
I agree.
And again, maybe because I wasn't as enthralled in it, maybe I missed the point. I guess that's where I was with these two songs. I'm like, where are these songs? Like when we get to the Meryl Streep part, the whole thing with the bowl, it ultimately had no bearing on the period.
It had no reasoning. I think the only song really that actually mattered, that actually gave us something, was the song "The Conversation," which was sung right at the beginning of the film by Michael Banks. Apart from that, all the other songs, you could almost say they were just filler. You know,
it's part of my overall problem with the film is songs. Usually, when you have songs, look, no matter what song you pick a musical. The songs usually in these musicals have some sort of meaning to the plot.
Yeah.
Heck, even Grease, every single song in Grease had a part to it
of course they did.
that meant something to the plot. That's where I was having an issue with this. I mean, the whole part of the bowl was definitely filler. Because guess what? When we get to the part with Meryl Streep and her song, again, which is unnecessary, she even says, this bowl isn't worth anything.
There you go. That's half an hour of the movie down the drain. Carol Cocky, welcome to the stream. Kay Atwood, so good to have you as well. Thank you so much for being here, Kay. I think the whole bowl situation, we'll come back to it in just a minute, but you're right with the songs. The songs have to have purpose, and I think what they were doing was, right, we're creating a Mary Poppins film. We need to have, for example, a Step in Time song that's not Step in Time, so we'll call it Triple Light Fantastic, and that'll be put in there. So they know that that's the Step in Time song. And I think that's the reason why they put the songs in. They put them in because everyone's watching a Mary Poppins film. They have to have those songs in them that aren't the originals, and that's pretty much what they've done. And again, it doesn't have the meaning because those songs like Step in Time, like Chim Chim Cheree and Spoonful of Sugar, they all have meaning. And these, not so much. These were just almost in honor for those songs.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, the part about it, the thing that I really kind of felt bad about was the plot basically was about saving the house. They didn't have the money. The dad fell behind. He didn't have enough money to make the overall arcing payment that needed to be made. Like you were getting to, they went to the bank. Colin Firth is now ahead. He owns the bank. He's CEO of the bank.
Yeah. He's the nephew of the original head of the bank.
Right. Correct. And he goes in there and they're like, hey, I think my dad had shares for us in the bank that would be enough to make the payment on the house to get us caught up, and we'll be able to keep it. And Colin Firth looks in the book and he's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't see any shares.
Well, he's lying.
Lying. Well, they don't know that. And we don't know that first. And he runs, they leave distraught and they're upset. And they only have till Friday at midnight. And he makes it seem like, hey, I will stay in this office till Friday at midnight to help you any way I can. When all the while he saw right there in front of him, they did have the shares.
He just wants the house.
He wants the house because he could resell it at a bigger price and make a bigger profit for the bank.
Is that my brother, Dole Whip Dad? What is up, Jeff? So good to have you here. Thank you for being here. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, my man. If you guys haven't checked out Dole Whip Dad, please go check him out. He's a wonderful friend and a wonderful friend of the community. So, guys, go check him out. Go check out his channel. And hope you're doing good, my man. So Colin Firth in an unusual role, because he normally plays the good guy, the innocent fatherly figure in films. It's nice to see him in sort of a villainy kind of role.
Plays it well too. Really good.
He did a good job. He did a really good job. So. I did like the symmetry when Mary Poppins and the kids and Jack got taken into the bowl. I loved the symmetry of of Colin Firth's character and his two sidekicks reflecting on as the animals on the bowl. Yes. Absolutely. I really quite liked that. That was quite fun and quite interesting as well. I think he actually did the voice of the kidnapper as well. Okay. I think so.
Yeah. Again, Dan, it's one of the things where I thought they kind of missed the boat on this. You mentioned it. You have Colin Firth in this film. You have Meryl Streep in this film. And they both really have small parts.
Yeah.
Not utilized as much as they probably could have,
Yeah.
in my humble opinion.
So going with this bowl thing, for me, this is probably the worst part of the film. The Meryl Streep scene, the topsy turvy scene, turning turtle scene. I don't know what it is, but for the last maybe 4 years, everything I see with Meryl Streep in it, I've just not enjoyed. I think she's just too over the top. She was in this film called Prom not too long ago. She was awful in it. And same in this. I just think because she's Meryl Streep, she could do anything. But I thought this was such a poorly written character, really annoying. Like really annoying. Like I did not like her accent in this. I don't know what kind of accent it is. They even said like we don't know what accent it is. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like, and it was paying tribute to the the I Love to Laugh song from Mary Poppins. I just didn't like it. Samantha Lowe, welcome into the stream. Good to see you, Sam. Hope you're doing well. I did not like this part at all. I really didn't.
Yeah, for me, it was just another one of these parts that I think you're right. It's filler. It's another song to add to the. You want to get to an hour and a half, 2 hours. How do you get there? All movies have filler, where they all have them. We get it. That's exactly what this is, and it just doesn't work for me.
Everything goes flippity flop, and I'm like, oh god, really? And her accent, yeah. And
she's supposed to be Russian.
Super Fluffy says for a scene that was parallel to Uncle Albert and I love to laugh. It was horrible. Yeah, I mean, if you're comparing it, it's not even in the same league. It's not. I don't know. It was just a weird, and I just don't think it worked. It could be weird because the Uncle Albert scene in Mary Poppins was weird, but it went really well. But this was just done really badly. It didn't need to be in the film. The whole bowl thing didn't need to be in the film. But I think the reason why they put it in was because, kids want to do something for their parents, even though they have no power at all to do anything. So I get it. I do get it. So in the meantime, you do get a bit of a love interest between Jane Banks and Jack, which I quite liked, but didn't really go anywhere. And Michael is trying to still find the certificate of his shares to get his house back. And they start to move out. They start to, clear everything out of the house. And I tell you what, when you saw that, for me, I don't know about you, but when I saw the house empty and it was cleared out, I did feel something. I did feel something because, there's a lot of history.
Exactly. But what you felt was from the original film.
Yes.
That's why. It's the feelings you have are feelings from what you remember of the original film in that house.
I agree. And it was I think quite brave of them to do that. I think it was quite interesting that they did that. And it was good. It was good. And so they find the shares. And where were the shares? They were on the back of Michael's kite.
The original kite, right?
Which I really liked. I really liked that tidbit there. Again, it was going back to the original. The shares were on their back. And their whole plan is to get this kite to Colin Firth's character at the bank. And the whole thing was about moving back time. And I actually completely forgot about this in when I saw it the first time. I was like, how are they going to move back time? What do? They climb Big Ben. Now, I know a lot of people here may not have ever been to London before, but you can't climb Big Ben that easily. You can't get anywhere near it. And even if you have like lots of stick ladders that lamplighters use, it's much more difficult than they made it look on the in the film. And to move back the clock that easily with Mary Poppins just flew in, right? What was the point of them climbing it? They should have just said, Mary, why don't you just go do it yourself instead of us risking our lives? And
well, remember, this is the early 1900s or late 1800s when this happened. So back then, the access to Big Ben might have been a little bit different.
No, but what I'm saying is, right, if Jack knew Mary could fly, why go to the hassle of trying to climb Big Ben when he could just say to Mary, can you just put the clock back a little bit? It just made no sense. It just if they knew she could fly, why risk his life over the edge of Big Ben, jumping up, trying to climb on top of this thing, and then she comes in as if like you might as well have had Mary be really smug and be like, you see how easily I can get up here. Like it's just, Okay, out was it. Oh, Dan, how easy to climb. Yeah, I've done it many times apparently. Yeah, so they move the clock back. That gives Jane and Michael time to get to the bank to get the kite to Colin Firth's character. So Big Ben so his stopwatch goes off, but Big Ben doesn't go off. Is that why isn't Big Ben ringing? And they believe something's going wrong. The kite comes in and it all starts to escalate. It all starts to unravel. We find out that Colin Firth is actually the villain of the film to them, and then the big saving of the day from a cameo.
Yes, absolutely. Dick Van Dyke makes a cameo as the original Mr. Barnes or whatever his name is, comes in and kind of saves the day because they were ultimately, even though they showed him the shares, he wasn't gonna let him have the house anyway. He wasn't gonna honor the shares, and that's when Dick Van Dyke comes in, and that was pretty awesome seeing him.
It was really cool seeing him, but the thing is, it's bad enough hearing him with one bad English accent. It's bad now he does two bad English accents. Because
did he even have an English accent when he came?
Did.
I thought he just spoke American.
No, it was definitely an English. Yeah, I'm gonna say this right now to everybody. Dick Van Dyke can't do a British accent. He just can't. He's like, hello, Mary Poppins. And I'm like, no one in London speaks like that. No one in London. Even if you're Cockney, which is like more of that kind of style, they don't even speak like that. It's very over the top, and it's not very good.
Let me say this. I think Jeff makes an incredibly good point, and it's really the point I'm trying to make. He says they could have honored the books by making it another Mary story with a new set of kiddos. Same time period, no need to connect the Jane and Michael story as the original books did.
Yeah.
Correct. And here's the thing. Not even the same parallel of a story. Give me a whole different plot. Give me whole different kids. I agree with that 100%. And I think it's part of the issue that I had with the fact that, like you said, Dan, it was basically giving me the same type of what we already had, and it wasn't going to be the same.
Yeah.
So I tend to agree with what Jeff is saying, for sure.
So we get that cameo from Dick Van Dyke. They keep the house, and then they all sort of move back in together. I did like the scene with the captain where they tried to get his cannon to line up with the strike of the hour with Big Ben. I quite like that.
Well, here's how I took that, and let me know. And I want to read Super Fluffy Yeti's comment. Dan, he says, Dan just said a keyword, smug. Emily Blunt played Mary Poppins too smug. She was self-impressed at several moments throughout the movie. That's what I'm talking about. He took remember when I said there was something about her, the way she played the character? That was it. She was a little too self-impressed for me. She was not very humble in a lot of ways. I tend to agree with what he's saying there. That's, there was a lot of times where I'm like, okay, take a step back. But that's just me. And
then it goes on to say, was Angela Lansbury's appearance supposed to be the part of Julie Andrews to make a cameo? I do not know. I think that was meant to still be Angela Lansbury, but I'm not sure. I'll have to research that. Matt says, when I met my first Brits, I was disappointed because they didn't sound like Dick Van Dyke. You won't find anyone sound like Dick Van Dyke.
I don't know, Dan. You sound like him. Just kidding.
It'll be like, hello, Walt from Mouse Talk. We're doing our Disney movie review today. No one speaks like that. It's so like overly.
He's not a Brit.
You know what? You know what it is. I feel like British people, British actors. It's easier for us to do an American accent, but it's harder for American actors to do a British accent. I think it's easier for us. Like you look at Tom Holland as Spidey, he does a really good American accent.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Christian Bale does too. He's good.
Christian Bale does.
Yeah, I agree.
What's his name?
Hey, Pamela Hall.
300 guy.
Oh, Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler, and he's Welsh. Welsh. Jeff says, there are 8 Mary Poppins books. Would have been easy if they have the rights. Yep, that's probably part of the reason why. It's hard for practically perfect people to seem humble. That's why I'm imperfectly perfect. There you go. Pamela Hoffman, welcome into the stream. And of course, Dad Bills has to bring up Rose and Crown. Dick Van Dyke is an English accent. What Rose and Crown fish and chips is to authentic fish and chips, at least according to Dan. No, at least according to every British person, Chris. According to every British person. Kay says, okay, I want to hear a British person do a Southern accent. What, a Southern British accent or a Southern American accent?
Southern American accent.
Yeah, you don't want me doing that because I'll probably offend everybody.
I think that's the point she's trying to make.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. So they end up keeping the house, and everyone is celebrating in the park, and the Let's Go Fly a Kite song is replaced with balloons, and the song is The Only Way to Go is up. And it was okay. This is a fine song. I don't think it had really any relevance. There was I didn't feel connected to that song like I did Let's Go Fly a Kite. It had Angela Lansbury as a cameo. It's fine.
Well, but the thing about it is what made Let's Go Fly a Kite so important was the fact that it was the dad showing the kids that I want to be with you. I want to spend time with you. I'm here for you. You're more important. Let's go out and fly a kite together. Let's spend time together. It had a purpose. It had a point to it. That's just me, but that's why. I mean, it really was an important scene to show that he was there for them. I don't know.
Mike Klemovich, welcome into the stream. Good to see you. It's a tough one to call, I think. It's an interesting film. It is an interesting film, and I think we're definitely all over the place in terms of how we're going to grade the film and what our final review is going to be. But that's pretty much it. They did the Only Way to Go But Up scene with the balloon, and that pretty much ends the film. And Mary Poppins leaves again, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to start doing sort of the summary review part of the show. So in a second I'm going to ask Walt to review his film, give us his favorite character, and to grade the film from an A+ down to an F. And what I would like everybody in the chat to do, if you have seen the film, grade it as well, from an A+ being the greatest movie of all time down to an F. Now, in this series that we have done, Walt has definitely given an F, and I've given an A+. So it's completely up to you guys. So please feel free in the chat to rate your review of Mary Poppins Returns, and we'll go through it. But while you're putting down your review, my dad used to tell me to go fly a kite, but that wasn't a good thing. Oh man. So guys in the chat, please put down your letter grade A+ down to F of Mary Poppins Returns. While you're doing that, Walt, I'm very intrigued by your final review of this film.
Well, hey Charlie and Stacy, just want to say hi.
Yeah,
they just came in.
Yeah, they said hi guys. I couldn't stand this movie. Didn't like any of the songs. Unfortunately, was very disappointed with it. I had to give it a D-.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that's what it was. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Okay, so I think this movie falls flat in every single way, shape, or form. It tries to be what the original was, which I think is mistake number one, and the biggest mistake it could have made. It, like you said, follows the same trajectory of storytelling, which again was a big mistake to have to compare it to. Emily Blunt is a very good actress, did a good job as Mary Poppins. I don't like her take of Mary Poppins. I agree with somebody in the chat who said she felt a little smug in a lot of ways. I didn't like that about it. I don't think that's the way Mary Poppins is. I just the songs were unnecessary. The songs are not memorable. I'm sorry to say, some movies don't need to be touched. This is probably one of them. And for me, I'm going to give it a D, not a D minus. I'm going to give it a D. I would not watch this again. I won't.
That's absolutely fair enough. Favorite character or least?
No. Probably favorite character in the film is going to be the sister,
Jane Banks.
Jane. I actually like her character.
Oh, Jane Banks or the middle sister as in the child?
Older sister. No, the old sister, the grown-up sister.
Okay.
Nice. I like her role in this. She was always supportive of her brother.
Jane Banks.
There for the kids. I like her. I like her in this.
Nice. That's a fair review, and I think we're definitely going to have a big divisive take this week on all of our reviews. So Disney Nerdheaders again gave it a D minus. Mike Klemovich says I've seen the film and I'm going to give it a C. Carol hasn't seen the film yet. I would definitely recommend it though. C plus, still love the original, of course, the original, and the original is in the box, so we may get to it soon. My grade is a B minus, but an A plus for the original. Very nice, Jeff. Kate Outward says I'll give it a C minus. Simba 2 says I fell asleep, but from what I saw, a C minus. Tim Pruitt, welcome into the stream. Good to see you. Hannah Waghorn, so good to see you, Hannah. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I haven't been here in a while. Great to see you all. Well, it was so good to see you here. So thank you for staying up late and catching the stream. Chris says now I'm not sure if I should watch it this for the first time or not. And I think what Walt and I always say is no matter what grade we give it, we definitely should recommend to everybody because you're always going to have a different opinion. And before I get to my grade, I'm going to let you guys into a little bit of a spoiler, but my grade is very different to Walt's on a completely different way. Super Fluffy Yeti says Disney tried to apply the Mary Poppins formula for Bedknobs and Broomsticks, song formulations and mixed live actions and animation and cute kids and a watch. It could not replicate the success. Yeah, so I think Disney does try all these different things, and some are hits and some are misses. Charlie says the original is A++++, but so I'll remember that when we review the original. My review, I like this a little bit more than Walt does. I think for personal reasons, it's the film that I watched with Hannah, not Hannah Waghorn, my girlfriend Hannah, just saying, for the first time as our first date. So obviously it means something to us. And there are, for me, a lot of positives about this film. I do like the fact that it was, in how I took it, an homage to the original. You can tell, right, that this song was for this paying homage to this song. This character is paying homage to this character. I love the costuming. I really enjoyed the acting. I think, okay, the characters might not have been written very well, but I enjoyed all the actors and how they portrayed those characters. But was it a perfect film? No, it wasn't a perfect film, but I did enjoy it. I'm going to give it a B minus. So very different to Walt. So, but
here's
everyone,
yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, I was just going to say everyone is, everyone's going to have a different view and a different opinion.
I love the fact this is probably the biggest difference for you and I so far. Usually, you and I are pretty close. I think this is the biggest one where we have such a gap where I'm very low and you're very high, or vice versa.
I think so.
This is the first one we've had like this, which is great. Here's what I'll say about it. This is what I feel. Original Mary Poppins, instant classic. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. Yeah. They followed it up in 2013, many years later, with Saving Mr. Banks, which was a smash hit. another Mary Poppins, talking about how it was made and that different, but still connected to the Mary Poppins formula. They wanted it again, and they tried to do it a third time, and they were like, let's see if we can cash in off of this, and that's why they said, well, let's do a sequel. And they thought they were going to do well. It didn't do well.
It did do well.
170 million domestically here in the U.S., which is not good at all. I think it made 349 total worldwide. It did not do well.
No. You know what this film is? It's a Disney Plus film. It's a film that they would put on Disney Plus and not in the theaters.
Right.
It's like Lady and the Tramp. That's why I see it. Firstly, Hannah Waghorn says, it was a pleasure, Dan. Last push for uni tomorrow, and I graduate in about a day and a half. So a massive congratulations to you, my friend. I know that Hannah has been working very, very hard. So a big congratulations to you. Movie Mania Nick, great to see you. Mike Clemovich says the reason why I gave it a C was that the music was good. Emily Blunt was excellent, but the one thing was that Julie Andrews was not in the film. If she was, it was a B for him. So that's fair. That's absolutely fair in his opinion, of course. But overall, I think go out and see this film. You might have my sort of take on it, and you might have Walt's take on it. You might have a completely different to both of us. But I would definitely check out this film. I agree. We say this every week. Watch it and make your own opinion. Yep. Ah, man. Movie Mania Nick says I give it a C. And nice. Now the fun part. Well, let me address Jeff. That's production. That's not including advertising and marketing. I'm pretty sure they did not do well. They did not consider it a success. I'll look up on IMDb. That 130 is just production costs. That's not including advertising and marketing. Let me look up on IMDb. So on IMDb, it says that that is true. No, what Jeff said was right on IMDb, but again, that's production, yeah, of course. Right, but I don't think your advertising and your marketing is included. That's just production. Yeah. You have to go into all of that as well. I don't think they made as much as you think they made. And not only that, making $20 million to Disney, $50 million, it's still considered a loss to them. That's not. They want to make endgame money as much as they can. I get what you're saying. I still don't think it was. That's a couple $100 million. Right, for advertising, add about another $100 million to that. So what was, I don't know. Maybe it is a success, but I can probably think of about 50 other ones that are much more successful than that film. I mean, it's a success that they made a profit. Is it really as successful as they wanted it? No, I don't think so. No, not when you only make 170 profit. They made 170 domestically. Yeah. They made 170 the rest of the world. That's not good. That's not what they want. I mean, They should have made 170 in China. Anywho. It's just my opinion. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is now time to choose the next film. Here we go. So, the next film will be on Walt's channel, on Mouse Talks channel. Next week, I think. Yes. Next week. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we should. Next week. So, if you have not been to Disney Movie Review before, we pick a movie out of this Funko Pop box. Why out of a Funko Pop box? I don't know. I just needed a box to use, so that's why I chose it. And I also like it because I get to see my hand inside, like the claw from Toy Story. So here we go. Drum roll, please, everybody. Please pick something. He's going to pick the original Mary Poppins. You know, it hasn't happened. It has happened before. We had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, then we watched the original 2 weeks later. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, next week's show on Walt's channel, we will be watching. Here we go. Oh, Lord. Thanks, Dan. You are not going to like this one.
Oh, well, it's not Captain Marvel. We already did that one.
It's a Disney Channel original film.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? He does this to me. Who had Lizzie McGuire? Me. What was the other Disney original channel you picked out?
Camp Rock?
Me.
Camp Rock?
Yeah, Camp Rock. Nice going, Dan.
This is worse.
It's original. Oh, my God. Just tell me.
It's got Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato in it.
What is it?
It is the Princess Protection Program.
Oh, okay.
That's like okay. Oh, I can't believe you picked that one, Dan.
Yeah, pretty much. The Princess Protection Program.
Oh,
well,
no.
If it makes everybody feel better, I'm sure that Mary Poppins Returns is probably going to do better.
Yeah.
And that got a D-.
Oh no, this is gonna be a hilarious week. So as we, when we pick these films like Tinkerbell, Camp Rock, Lizzie McGuire, you're gonna see two grown men watch a wonderfully Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, that's been produced for young girls.
Yeah. So there you go. And if there's anyone who wants to join us for that one, please let us know. We would love to have you on the street.
We did Lizzie McGuire. We did the Tinkerbell movie together, and we both actually rated them okay. They weren't that bad. So,
well, the Lizzie McGuire one wasn't great, but
no, not at all. No, I think we both gave it a D or D plus.
D something.
But Tinkerbell, actually, I think I gave it a B. I think.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Pamela Hoffman says there's no really a bad movie. Oh, yes, there is.
No, she said that. I think she's saying that that's actually not really a bad movie.
Okay. Okay.
She's saying it's not a bad film.
Because sometimes we will have films that we've never seen before. I haven't seen this film before. I'm pretty sure Walt hasn't seen this film.
No.
And oh wait, K-Out says, what grades did you give? I messaged you to the Wi-Fi drop. So Walt gave it a
D,
and I gave a B- for Mary Poppins Returns. Hannah Wackhorn says, we all love to live our inner young girl vibes. Don't lie, Dan and Walt. Well, yeah, no. Super fluffy, yes. And with that lovely announcement, I'm going back to watch Walt's stream from earlier today at Epcot. And speaking of which, guys, if you have not checked out Walt's channel, Mouse Talk, they were live earlier today from Epcot. And been at the parks a lot recently. You did 4 parks within four days. Which was a lot of fun. But you've been super, super busy. And guys, if you haven't checked out Walt's channel, please do so. I liked your little clickbaity Disanity.
It was our last stream at that location.
At that place.
It was a play on words.
Maximus Napic, welcome into the stream. Good to see you. I love Mary Poppins Returns movie. Nice. And so what's coming up for you? Parks?
Yeah.
What do
we got this Tuesday is actually going to be a big Disanity show, not clickbait. We actually have part 1 of a 3-part series. Our realtor, Mark Younger, will be on, and it's going to be doing a 3-part series on moving to Florida. Moving to Orlando, near Disney. He's going to talk about housing, prices, neighborhoods, schools. That's part 1. Part 2 is going to be about maybe you want to buy near the Orlando area as an investment property. Maybe you want to have one of those vacation homes you can rent out to people. He's going to talk about that. And then part 3 will be kind of the shoring things up, talking about how to get the process started, neighborhoods, all kinds of different questions and answer times. It's going to be a really fun 3-part series. We didn't want to do it all in one big show because that'd be a ton of information. So we figured we'd break it down. That starts this Tuesday at 8. Next Saturday, I just got it. Melissa doesn't even know about it. We will be at Magic Kingdom next Saturday. Ooh. So that's awesome. Park passes have been so hard to get.
Yeah.
So hard to get. And I just happened to look, Dan, literally before you and I came on, and there was a Magic Kingdom for Saturday. So we're doing that Saturday. Sunday, I'm not sure yet. Maybe probably a Universal stream. We haven't been back to Universal or SeaWorld. We'll see. So that's what's coming up in the next few days.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Plenty of streams, plenty of videos coming up. So, guys, please check out Walter Melissa from Mouse Tour, my wonderful partner channel. As for me, we got Disney Fiasco episode 135 on Saturday, 7 p.m. We just had episode 134, which is amazing. It was our happiest moments at Disney. It was a really, really fun show. We had RobFuz, Tina from Team Marie's Place, and Chris from Dad Builds. So much fun. Had a great show yesterday. You can also check out all my other partner channels, RobFuz, the Viapree Project, this wonderful gentleman, and Meg from Mickey's Magic. Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Check me out. Dean over the live place. Guys, please check out Dean. He is your go-to guy for all your family-friendly live streamers. He has over 120 different live streamers on his website.
119.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Go check him out. And then also go check out these podcasts, the Great British Mickey Waffle and the Polka Dot Podcast. Again, have me on their podcasts. Go check them out. So much fun. We had a great time discussing cast member stuff, and it was really, really cool. Got some. I did say I got some vlogs in the plans in the mix, so I will be posting those in the next couple of weeks. What's up, Arjon? It's good to see you. We're just heading out. Thank you for being here. Good to see you, brother.
Oh, and it's Thursday at 6. We have our next Disney ride along.
Disney ride along.
Moving right along, dude.
Every time you say that show, I always think of that song. But guys, thank you so much. So remember, this Saturday, 7 p.m., Disney Fiasco episode 135, and then Sunday, 6 p.m. on Walt's channel for Disney movie review of the Princess Protection Program.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for that one. I'll see you guys real soon. See you later, guys. And we'll see you. Have a good week, everybody.
For the good of all Cree.
Good for the good of all Cree. I can't believe it took us the whole stream to do that.